What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing a mock draft Monday special, one round mock draft, no trades. So just remember, if you guys are saying Bears should trade out of one, no trades in this mock draft. Why I do that, and I also have a trades mock this week as well, is because of the fact that it's very fun to be able to put myself in situations that I can't get out of. So be able to get the best value at that spot, even if we can't trade out. It's just a different environment, so it's very fun to be able to experiment with ideas there. So if you guys are new, would love for you guys to join, like, comment, subscribe. We're at 5,000 about a month ago, so we are booming, and it's all thanks to you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys already know I'm going to plug that Discord. We have over 560 members in it now, which is awesome because it was at 100 less than a month and a half ago, which is insane. We do stuff over there like live tape studies on all 22 that you can't do over here. So you guys need to go over there to check it out because it is awesome. Trust me, you're missing out, and I'm missing out on being able to hang out with you. We do those whenever I have free time at night. And then we also have fan mock drafts. One was posted last week, that where you guys get to sign up and have a chance to be the GM of your own team. So feel free to join. It's perfectly free, and it's an awesome community. Let's get right into it. Pick number 1. Now the Bears are going to go Bryce Young. No, I'm joking. All games here. So Bryce Young is a great player. I don't think that because of the fact he has it's not Trevor Lawrence level, right? We don't have somebody who is so damn good and there's just nothing wrong with them to where you have to take him. Like Justin Fields, he's developing, and I don't think you need to shy away from that even if Bryce Young's on the table. Bryce Young has those size issues. He does have those. He's not that generational guy where he's 6'6", big arm, great processor. I love Bryce. He's the best QB in the class by a long shot in my eyes. But at the same time, he has enough issues to not warrant being taken above Justin Fields. Now, if it happens, I would still say it's insane. However, I think if you are sitting here, you can't trade out. Remember, this is a no trades mock. You have to go with the player that has the best potential in the class. This team's very good developing defensive players, and this is a very deep edge class, not a deep defensive interior class. Actually, a razor-thin defensive interior class because two of my favorite players out of Clemson, Rook Orhoro, I don't know how the hell to say it, or Tyler Davis, both of those guys just decided to return, which breaks my heart. So Jalen Carter is going to be the best guy because, again, this defensive interior class just shrunk big time. And this edge class still is phenomenal even without Jared Verse. So yeah, Jalen Carter, you have to go with the best potential there. Akeem Hicks was a monster there for a long time. This guy could be even better than what Akeem Hicks was for you guys for a very, very extended tenure. So pick number 2, there's no doubt about it, still going to be Bryce Young. I don't think I really need to explain much. It's been the same thing every single week. And if you do have the option to take him, you take him. Lovie Smith pretty much giving the proverbial middle finger to the organization before they fired him is absolutely hilarious. So he kind of still works for the Bears in that aspect. And right below my face, this is my big board. If you guys have issues with my big board, I totally get it. For one, I'm going to be honest. I know my big board is not for everybody. But what I will tell you is come to the Discord, and I'm more than willing to back up my takes with evidence. And if I end up not being confident in that, that's why I'm willing to drop players. Because Jared Verse is still on the board. Son of a biscuit. It needs to be updated for that. I digress. So don't worry. It's going to be updated today. Because, took a personal day yesterday, and we'll get past that. Pick number 3. If the Cardinals are here, man, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get whoever's left out of the top trio. Not top trio, but the top duo in Jalen Carter and Will Anderson. You just ended up losing out on J.J. Watt, who decided to retire. So being able to get Will Anderson in there and have some extra edge presence, not a bad thing. Not the same role remotely, but you're still losing an impactful defensive lineman, so you kind of want to match that with the potential of Will Anderson. Pick number 4, this is going to be C.J. Stroud after having a monster game versus Georgia. And there are rumors of him returning to be able to come and fight for the Natty. But I highly doubt that's ever going to happen. He's smarter than that. You're not going to be able to beat out Caleb Williams, that's for sure. And probably not even Drake May. But, CJ losing to Ohio State was the best thing he could have done in the fashion that he did. Because he's not the reason they lost. And he had a phenomenal game. So good for CJ Stroud. He's a very, very talented quarterback. He comes from a system that is just not translatable. I know people hate on me because I bring up facts like that. Not many teams have multiple first-round quality receivers and a very stout offensive line and even first-round quality running backs in Travion Henderson. So it's tough to say that he's going to be able to be better than that in the NFL. So it is like you do have to put that into account. But this is a team where, offensive lineman piece here, a wide receiver there, maybe Marvin Harrison next year because of the fact, Marvin Harrison was a famous Colt. That's where you're going to be able to make your bread and butter, and that is a great situation for CJ to be in. So this is my favorite landing spot for CJ Stroud. I think I put that on my quarterback video a long time ago, even though they're in the middle of the pack. So excited to see that that's a very real possibility. Pick number 5 for Seattle. That kind of sucks because y'all were like totally set. Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, hell yeah. And now we're here. Myles Murphy is the guy who I'm leaning towards at the moment. It's no longer a race with Jared Verse in here. The edge class got considerably thinner in the first 20 picks because of that. And Myles Murphy's just super consistent. I'm looking at other positions I would at least be intrigued with. I don't like Brian Breezy that much. And based off of the way I graded him, and everybody agreed, we just did this 2 nights ago in the Discord, his big issue is knowing where the ball is. I swear to God, please put on the tape. This guy will get into the backfield. He doesn't know where the ball's at. Like, the ball's like 10 yards away from him. So he could have made a play if he just knows what's going on. And that's something that is kind of hard to teach in the NFL because the plays are even more designed to confuse the defense. And then also his tackling, he has a 30% missed tackle rate. So not a fan of Brian Breezy in that aspect, but I do understand the hype. Totally not worth the number 5 pick. I'm just going to be honest. Totally not worth it. There's really nobody else I would remotely consider in this range. Of course, within reason. I love Isaiah McGuire. I think he's better than Myles Murphy. You guys can come and watch him yourself. I think that's just the case. But Myles Murphy is a stud. He's someone who is going to hit. Maybe not the flashiest pick in the world, but he's just a damn good player. And, you have your hyper-athletic freak there in, I just tripped up on his name, Boye Mafe. So now you have your more consistent run-stopping threat there in Myles Murphy. It's a big downgrade. I know. It's a big downgrade from Will Anderson in terms of the potential. But at least you're getting a very good impact player on a very good roster. Pick number 6, the Rams. The Rams, I wish that they ended up beating Seattle. I really do. Because I had the Lions in my playoff. Like, I had them making the playoffs as the final team. That would have been just so awesome. But you know what? I love the Lions organization. The fact, I'm just a huge fan of Dan Campbell. I played my dad recently in, I think, Madden 09. And I think Dan Campbell was the tight end of the Lions at the time. And it was just super cool. It's just super cool playing with somebody like that. But y'all know where I'm going with this. I know. Boring Alex getting Joey Porter again. But it is the best player on the board. He's my number 3 player in the draft. And cornerback is a position y'all desperately need. So I think that the value of him there is incredible. The cornerback class got much deeper than I expected because Garrett Williams and Eli Ricks came out. But even with that, I still would go Joey Porter this high because I think he is that special. Pick number 7 for the Raiders. A lot of people are going to be clamoring for Will Levis here. I am not. So here's the issue. Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. He doesn't fit a Josh McDaniels scheme. You look at the guys who fit that. That's going to be Jimmy G, Tom Brady. I'm sure Brock Purdy would have fit that very well. And that's just not Will Levis. That would be disgraceful to Will Levis as well as to the Raiders organization. So yeah, Derek Carr is going to be gone. You could say he's going to get traded, but the fact is he's going to get cut because no team's going to trade for him with a $40 million cap hit. Just, he hasn't proved worthy of it yet. I think Peter Skoronski is not a bad move. You can put him to guard or you can put him to tackle. I will say I am very concerned about his arm length. I watched him. I don't care about the numbers as long as you're able to use your length very well. Pause. But when you see him play, his arms actually look kind of like little stubs. And pause. But they just, I don't know. He does not have the ability to get initial contact on big edge defenders. And that's scary. You get Myles Garrett to have his hand on you first, you're done, man. You're done. And that does scare the living hell out of me. So I am debating whether I want to drop Peter Skoronski and even consider him as a tackle. That I'm jumping back on the, probably am very scared shitless about this pick. This guy being a tackle type of hype train. So what do you do with this pick? If you're not going to go Peter Skoronski, what do you do? Corner, always an option. And I love Christian Gonzalez on this squad. I think that would be a great fit. Probably going to be the guy I go with. Cam Smith, another great option. Keely Ringo, if you use him deep, he's going to be a baller. I think that's a good option for the team. So you can go wherever you want. Christian Gonzalez has his own faults, but he's also one of those guys who just does not get enough publicity. He's a very good corner. And where is he on my board? Christian Gonzalez, number 18 overall. You can't go wrong. I think corner is just going to be the safe option for the team in the moment, and that's going to be the best thing you can do. Pick number 8 for the Falcons. Yeah, not the ideal board because I would love Christian Gonzalez to the squad. I would love Myles Murphy to the squad. Those are my two favorites to be there at number 8. Both of them, not so much. Now, Tyree Wilson would be a nice edge defender to add in. I think that would be a very fun guy to just add some extra run stuffing, but also upside as a pass rusher. I think edge defender is the position I do want to go with. It's the one where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. If Jared Verse were on the board because he went back to school, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But he's not. Tyree Wilson can be kicked inside. He's 6'6", 275, so he has the frame to add weight or subtract it. He's very raw, but you have some great players there in terms of their technique. Arnold Ebiketie was very polished coming out. You also have Grady Jarrett, who's an absolute monster, so can teach him some of the intricacies of hand fighting. So for me, I know you're going to get an immediate boost in the run stuffing, where when Tom Brady's out, the run's going to be a lot heavier in Tampa. God only knows what's happening in New Orleans, but run's probably going to be heavier there as well. And then Carolina, again, it's a coin toss, so they could definitely see a massive increase in their run usage there as well. So for me, I want to get that guy who just steps up. He's a high upside player, and he was very productive, 50 pressures on the year before getting hurt this year. Just the sky's the limit. So I'm very excited to see what Tyree Wilson's able to do. Pick number 9. I do think corner should be on the board. I think edge rusher should be on the board. I think quarterback with Will Levis should be considered here. I do. I like Will Levis. I like him a lot. But at the same time, I don't know if he's going to be able to succeed with this system. Let's look at the other options. And I think this is all live for the record, guys. Keely Ringo would be a really good corner in this system. Cam Smith as well. You can go either way, and I think you'd be pretty damn happy. I think that's the best route to go. Usually you don't take a quarterback. I mean, you can if you're a new regime, but if you have an option on a more safe quarterback that's proven himself, or bringing Sam Darnold back for another year and waiting until you get an absolute home run hit in the next draft, which again could end up being proven false. We saw last year, especially, Spencer Rattler and Sam Howell were supposed to be the number 1, number 2 pick. They didn't do so, even though Sam was still my QB1. But Cam Smith is going to be the right move. I don't think we're going to be running that much of a big issue going after a QB another year. You're sticking to the South Carolina, the pedigree. There we go. The South Carolina pedigree. So definitely something I want to do for this team. Eagles at 10. So Peter Skoronski is not a bad move. You could definitely see him being trained up to be the successor to Lane Johnson. But again, I have to emphasize this guy's arm length is genuinely concerning. I would love to see him as a guard in this system. But I don't know if you need to spend a first-round pick to replace Isaac Suamalu. I don't think you do. And this is not the draft to do it in the first place. And especially at 10, because your team's never going to be at 10 again, I want to get the best bang for my buck. Now, Keely Ringo's on the board. I know a lot of people are talking about how this guy was burnt toast, and I agree versus Marvin Harrison, he's burnt toast. But this is a system that he will fit a lot better in. I think that he's going to be able to get his hands on, and it's not so much the the short to intermediate range, not Keely's specialty, but those deep balls, I think he is the best deep defender in the class. Has the size and the athleticism to be able to contest any ball, and he has great hands. So for me, I really love that pick. Other positions you can go, though. This is a good spot to trade back, honestly, if you are Howie, because you do see somebody like Will Levis on the board. Again, no trades mock. Safety with Brian Branch, way too early, but it is a trade back candidate. Brian Breezy, trade back candidate. So I think the option's pretty simple for me here. It's going to be Keely Ringo. Just the edge rushers, apart from Isaiah McGuire, to me, just aren't really worth it at the moment. So it's a bit unfortunate. Pick number 11. Do I dare go Will Levis? They did not start with Malik Willis. And Will Levis could just definitely be another Ryan Tannehill with upside and a much cheaper contract. I mean, if you're starting Josh Dobbs above Malik Willis, there's some legitimate issues there. And I know, like, they're going to lose regardless. I don't understand the logic behind that. So to me, I think Will Levis could be a really fun option here. We're going to try it out. I haven't done this, but I think it's a good fit. Mobile quarterback. His comp could be Ryan Tannehill. I think that's a great idea, but he's also Ryan Tannehill that can throw deep. And his ability to throw accurate short passes is honestly pretty awesome, especially over the middle of the field. I think he's going to be one of those guys where it's like, damn, I wish we were higher on him in terms of the community that hates him. He's not anywhere close to number 11 on my board. Where's he at? He's at what, number 27? But he's still a damn good player. You got to show him some respect. Scroll down the board a little bit for you guys past Jared Verse because that is hashtag embarrassing. But pick number 12 still ended up getting your man right here in Bryce Young. So that's great. I think Quentin Johnston's the best move. If he's on the board, I don't think you shy away from taking him. Tonight, we are going to see how he ends up playing. That's going to be fun against Keely Ringo. So having a nice little battle here between Keely Ringo and Quentin Johnston tonight could raise either of their stocks, could tank either of their stocks. We'll see. Pick number 13 for the Jets. Peter Skoronski would not be a bad move. I do think that you could just try to put him at offensive tackle. I want to go to a team. I want to draft Peter to a team that could use him as guard as well. I want him to have that flexibility. And it could happen here. But at the same time, I think this team is looking for an impact player. And whether that's going to be Broderick Jones, whether that's going to be Paris Johnson, whether that's going to be a DB like Brian Branch, I am not sure. You could end up going after a linebacker, but this class has some very good ones in terms of its depth. You have Jack Campbell, you have Drew Sanders, you have Trenton Simpson. But you also have Tommy Eichenberg, who's my number one linebacker. And that's something you can get in the second round easily. Linebacker is also a low-value position. I'm not going to be drafting one here. So I'm going to stick to it. We're going to be going tackle. But I'm going to go Broderick Jones this time to give the middle finger to Bill Belichick because that's obviously my dream pick for him. But Bill, if he's sitting here at number 14, I was mistaken thinking that the Patriots don't take first-round DBs. Somebody in the comments did point out the fact that DBs have gone in the first to the Patriots. And again, that's totally on me for not fully studying the draft history. So I appreciate you guys calling me out on that. I'm going to test this out. We're not going to go offensive tackle or wide receiver here. We're going to go Brian Branch. Hyper versatile defensive back out of Alabama. Can play boundary corner, can play slot, can play safety. Just somebody who's very versatile and will, obviously this is the dream fit for him. Alabama, obviously that's a place where Bill liked to, siphon his players from. And then also a super versatile DB. I think Bill's going to have a field day with Brian Branch. Also taking him away from the Packers because those are my favorite players for the Packers. Jordan Addison should be at least considered here. I saw Michael Mayer, and the all-22 out on Michael Mayer was the Ohio State game, and he looked awful. Now, I've watched game tape of other stuff, so my opinion on him hasn't changed in terms of his ranking, but my opinion of him as a player has, because I'm not going to move my ranking boards before seeing some all-22. And he looks damn dominant, and he could be a damn good Packer. Offensive tackle would not be a bad move. I would love to see another guard hybrid there like Peter Skoronski or Paris Johnson. I think Zach Tom, I want to give him a little bit more of a shot, though. And I think this team could patch in free agency. They're really good in the later rounds so far with guys like Zach Tom to be able to patch the O-line. And we're going to go with Paris Johnson. I'm joking. Paris Johnson's the best value on the board. I love Michael Mayer. This class has such great guys in round 2. They have such great tight ends in round 2. Go after the offensive lineman. This class is so thin. Do you see how I got you guys there? I got you. I got myself low-key. I did not actually mean to click on Paris Johnson, but I was going to in the first place. Paris Johnson, hyper versatile, can play on the right or the left. Very good in the mobility as well. You guys have had a very good track record in terms of the past year of drafting later round offensive linemen because I love me some Zach Tom. But, again, this class is so thin, you're not going to get jack shit later on. You can get some damn good tight ends later on, but not tackles. But Washington, I would be at least considering Michael Mayer here. Of course, you could just try to say, hey, we're going to wait for Brock Bowers the next year, and that would be a pretty smart idea. But I'm going with Peter Skoronski. This is a team where you can play tackle or guard for him, and I think that he totally fits. Sam Cosmi, I think, also has this arm length issue, so he's been doing pretty well there too. Glad to see that. Steelers, sorry, I just siphoned away my favorite players from you guys. That seems to be the word of the day, isn't it? But Skoronski, Johnson, Jones, those are the guys who I love to go after. Jordan Addison is starting to intrigue me here. Jalen Jones is the most logical move. Of course, the Steelers drafting first-round corners. I have PTSD from Artie Burns. I'm not exactly a huge fan of that. Of course, we have the number 32 overall pick. Let's go. I think that Jordan Addison is a very fun option here, and I'm going to take him. I know I'm about to get a ton of shit for doing this. I know, but this game is built on offense. Matt Canada needs to get his ass fired, like ASAP. And if you have Jordan Addison, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, obviously Kenny Pickett with Jordan Addison was a Blitnikoff winner, you're going to have an elite wide receiver room, at least for the next 3 years, because George Pickens is on a 4-year contract with no 5th-year option. So at least for the next 3 years, you'll have an elite receiving room, because it doesn't really matter whether Deontay's part of it, because you're going to have that instant synergy between those 3 rookies or young kids at that point. Again, you have the number 32 pick. That's where we're going to target a corner. The value is not good enough. Brian Breezy would be interesting. Like, at this spot, I'd be okay with it. But I definitely think that Jordan Addison is a really fun option because, again, you're getting with his boy Kenny P. Pick number 18. I would love to go edge rusher here. And it used to be Jared Verse, man. Jared Verse was the man. I love Jared Verse. But also, this team could use edge rusher much later on because the fact is, the last time I considered stuff like this, James Houston was left out of my mental equation. So, no need to do that. Brian Breezy's here. I would love to take a shot on him. I really would. Antonio Johnson's another guy. You can get a good safety in there into that rotation. But Brian Breezy, this is where the upside is worth it. You have Aleem McNeil there already, who's been a baller. Levi Onwuzurike, I'm pretty sure he can't stay healthy. But Brian Breezy, he also isn't always on the field, but has that upside. He has great technique in terms of his pass rushing ability. That's going to add a nasty force there with James Houston as well as Aiden Hutchinson. Pick number 19. So Anthony Richardson appears to be my runaway favorite for this pick at the moment. But let's test out some other options here. You know, you do have guys like Trenton Simpson who could be very nasty on this team. B.J. Ojolari. You could look at Anton Harrison as an offensive lineman replacement. Bijan's a beast. You could definitely have him there, but Rashad White's doing a great job. I'm going to still go with Anthony because this is a team you're sitting at 19. You have time to develop a guy like that. And now you have 2 Florida quarterbacks on your roster. Pick number 20. You're also taking away from the Seahawks, where that would be a great fit. But the Seahawks, you guys end up getting Myles Murphy. It's not over. Like, it's still a very, very good pick. So Myles Murphy's on your team. Trenton Simpson, I'm going to take the highest ceiling linebacker. He may be my linebacker 4, but he has the highest ceiling out of the guys available. I love Pete Carroll. I think he'll definitely be able to mold Trenton Simpson into the stud that he should be. Pick number 21 for the Jaguars. For me, I've been intrigued with Anton Harrison, who is my tackle too, because he has left and right tackle versatility. Don't think that would be a bad idea at all. I would tickle the idea. Ooh, that doesn't sound right. I would at least be intrigued with the idea of Bijan Robinson here because of the fact that he's just way too good of value. Wide receiver, not going to be the thing I do. So I actually might go Anton Harrison. I might. I know guard is more of the position to address, but I really just want Anton Harrison, man. I will put him at guard. I don't care. I really want him on this team. The value is too good. Tackles get hurt all the time. And just a guy where you can, again, put him at guard. You can put Walker Little at guard. You're getting a position that's probably going to be asking for $20 million a year for the guys who are good at a cheap-ass price. And he's definitely worth it. Has played games at right tackle as well, so I love that versatility. Pick number 22. I love Michael Mayer for this team. I love Jalen Jones for this team. I like Jackson Smith and Jigba for this team. There's a lot of routes you can go with this pick. Receiver, definitely, if you guys are going to be giving Danny Dimes a multi-year contract, not a bad choice. And Jack Smith and Jigba kind of would be what Kenny Golladay was supposed to be on the squad. That's my leading favorite right now. I do think DB could be addressed, but Wink Martindale, most of the success, well, to be fair, Marcus Peters was the free agent acquisition, but Marlon Humphrey was drafted. So we'll see. But I'm going to go JSN for this pick. It's just a fun option. The Ravens are on the board. I would be looking at Jalen Jones for sure. His ability to just understand what the hell is going on is sublime. And he's just a boring tape study because no one ever throws at him. No one does. No one ever throws at him. So I think getting a lockdown corner like that, even though he's limited athletically, not a bad choice. So we're going to test out the waters right there. The Chargers sitting at 24. My favorite for Brian Breezy. He's not here. So I am looking at Michael Mayer as a good option. I'm looking at Bijan as a good option as well. Just because, again, you're going to be taking him away from another contender. I don't see the Cowboys could go after Bijan, which, again, do you want the Cowboys to have Bijan? If you guys could have a bell cow running back, because, again, Isaiah Spiller, good player. Isaiah Spiller, very good player. I liked Isaiah Spiller. Eckler, awesome player. Awesome guy. But they don't compare to Bijan's talent. They don't. And it's a way to get Justin Herbert less hits on himself. So I'm going to test it out. Bijan Robinson is going to be the dude. Cowboys sitting there feeling awful because they just lost out on a stud. Michael Mayer is extremely intriguing, but I'm going to go after, I'm seeing if I don't think right guard's the needed position, but I'm going to trust Osiris Torrance to be able to move left or right on it. It's better than Siaki Ika. I'll tell you that. I know I got some people who are not fans of it saying, hey, we need to get boundary corner. Probably going to be where I go tomorrow, but I would love to have moved up for a guy like Jalen Jones. I like Devon Witherspoon. It's just tough for me to go with him at 25 when he's 180 pounds. It's just a little bit tough because, again, you are facing guys like A.J. Brown, and I'm a little bit scared if, Trevon Diggs doesn't follow A.J. Brown, and then you're having 180 pounds versus like 220. Just a little bit scary. Pick number 26, though. I think Devon would be a great spot for the Bengals. But we're going to go Michael Mayer. Might as well. Great player at a great fit. Pick number 27. So the Vikings. Now, I think DB, this is a good spot for Devon Witherspoon. And I think I've done this draft, this part of the draft before, where I went Devon Witherspoon here. Just totally worth taking because of the fact, you do have some bigger receivers in this division, but you can afford it at this point. You're not going against a monster. To be fair, Chase Claypool is like 240 pounds. But just don't put Devon Witherspoon on Chase Claypool. Yeah, he's proven that he's at least worth a first-round pick. I don't think that JSN, now JSN, and then A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, I think they're going to whoop his ass. Pick number 28. So this is probably going to be traded for Sean Payton. I think that's the rumor going around, is that's going to be Sean Payton here. But I'm going to go Darnell Wright. Getting a right tackle for this team is a great choice, and he's a very, very, very good player. Pick number 29 for the Bills. We are going to be going, again, this has nothing to do with DeMar. This has to do with the other free agent safeties. Antonio Johnson, the Chiefs. We're just getting the best player available right now. Defensive interior, I don't see anybody totally worth it. But edge rusher, you have guys like Felix who do deserve that first-round hype. I think that's the best way to go. I'm going to give it to him. Felix Anudike-Uzomah, a very, very talented edge rusher, very well balanced as well. Eagles ended up taking Keely Ringo with their first pick. So with this one, this is actually a lot tougher because now I could have went after somebody like Devon Witherspoon because based on the fact that Keely Ringo would have been available, we would have had a chain of reactions and Devon would have been available at this spot, but we would have ran into the same issue playing against guys of size. Safety, man, dude, this is a pretty barren ass pick. Running back is available. I'm not fully for it. And dude, man, if Darnell Wright's available, I'm taking him here. That's a spot where I take Darnell Wright. There's nobody available where I'm a huge fan of it. So, if you put me against a wall and say, make a pick, Alex, I probably want to go Jahmyr Gibbs. I do. And it's not exactly what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. We could go edge rusher here. Jahmyr Gibbs would be the option that I first want to go with, but there's also some great talents. I'm going to show some love. I'm going to show some love for somebody who is going to have a massive boost after the draft. Isaiah McGuire, you can insert whatever edge player you want there. It's Jahmyr or an edge rusher, because the fact this doesn't continue, you guys can enjoy that as it is. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. I'll scroll for a recap in the background. Don't worry. Thank you guys again. Always supporting me as usual. See you on the far side. Peace.